to discuss Iran war situation, and we are discussing the social media unverified reports. We are analyzing these unverified reports and footages from social media, and we are providing you educational and documentary analysis from the point of view of we are providing we are providing analysis over these unverified reports and footages of social media from documentary and educational point of view, strongly following the YouTube community guidelines. The news up there is that French foreign minister says he hopes President Trump does not go ahead with threats. French foreign minister says that he hopes that President Trump does not go ahead with threat against Iran. President Trump has said French foreign minister says that he hopes that President Trump doesn't go ahead with threats against Iran. Israel has attacked Iran's largest petrochemical plant. Updates on war, and the latest news from war. The latest news from Israel-Iran update on the Israel-Iran war is U.S., Israel, and Iran is that the war has entered in its 40th day if you live in the eastern part of the world, and the war is in its 39th day if you live in the western part of the world. We have first comment Hassan Riaz, and he says hi to you. As of Wednesday, the war has entered in its 40th day if you live in the eastern part of the world, and if you live in the western part of the world, the war has entered in its are that the deadline which President Donald Trump gave to open the Strait of Hormuz to Iran is ending now within 3 hours. The deadline which President Trump gave to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz is ending within 3 hours, and the situation has transitioned from tactical skirmishes to a full-scale existential crisis for the Iranian state. President Donald Trump issued a final warning on Truth Social that a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz. And there are only 3 hours left in this threat. We are updating you live that the threat of President Trump is said that this is the final warning to Iran. They should open the Strait of Hormuz, otherwise a whole civilization will die tonight. These were his words. And to open the Strait of Hormuz, only 3 hours are left. The US has explicitly threatened to strike Iran's entire civilian power grid and national bridges. The US has explicitly threatened to strike Iran's entire national bridges and civilian power grid, moving the war from military targets to total infrastructure collapse. The maximum pressure 2.0 is designed to force domestic uprising in Iran by threatening the very survival of the state's functioning, Trump is betting that Iranian military will turn on its leadership to save the country from one night annihilation. So we are updating you live that only 3 hours are left in the deadline and the ultimatum which Donald Trump gave to Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. Otherwise, as President Trump threatened, quote unquote, a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran does not open the Strait of Hormuz. And in this threat, only 3 hours are left. The US explicitly threatened to strike civilian power grid and national bridges, moving the war from military targets to total infrastructure collapse. The maximum pressure 2.0 is designed to force domestic uprising in Iran by threatening the very survival of the state's functioning. Donald Trump is betting that Iranian military will turn on its leadership to save the country from one night annihilation. We have comments now. Yes, deadline expires. Yes, deadline is expiring within 3 hours, and we'll see what happens then. Just hours before this deadline is ending, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif from Pakistan issued an urgent public appeal to Donald Trump to extend the deadline by 2 weeks. Shehbaz Sharif from Pakistan has issued an urgent public appeal to President Trump to extend the deadline by 2 weeks. As the primary mediator, Pakistan has signaled that diplomatic efforts are progressing steadily and could lead to substantive results if given more time. There has been no official word yet from the White House on whether the extension was granted, though the next few hours will reveal if US bombers begin the grid strike and the bridges strike. So the deadline is ending within 3 hours, and Prime Minister of Pakistan Shehbaz Sharif has issued urgent appeal to President Donald Trump to extend the deadline by 2 weeks, which is ending within 3 hours. As the primary mediator, Pakistan has signaled that diplomatic efforts are progressing steadily and could lead to substantive results if given more time. There has been no official word from US or White House on whether the extension was granted, though the next few hours will reveal if US bombers begin the grid strike and the bridge strike. Only Only 3 hours are left in this deadline. Please do take part in the poll that will this deadline end in US starting the bombing of power plants and bridges, or will we see the extension of deadline or a kind of a temporary ceasefire? Do take part in the poll. We have a comment that false TV, that no deal will get reached. Trump will have to back up what he is saying, and that we will know in a couple of hours. If we see the lights going out in Iran, that means no deal has reached and the bombing is starting. But Pakistan has publicly appealed to US that to delay the strikes and by 2 weeks, and to extend the ultimatum by 2 weeks. On April 7th, yesterday, US forces struck military targets at Kurg Island, that is Iran's main oil export terminal, further crippling Tehran's ability to fund the war. Footages show that moment Iran ballistic missile struck near an industrial complex in Israel, sparking a fire. These are the moments which we are showing you on screen when Iranian missiles and drone hits Saudi Arabia's industrial complex in Jubail. Fire erupts near industrial site in Saudi Arabia after Iranian strikes. We are showing you the visuals when industrial complex Jubail, Saudi Arabia was targeted by Iran, courtesy Al Jazeera News. As a result, we see fires erupting after drones and missiles make an impact targeting Saudi Arabia's industrial complex in Jubail. Yesterday, US forces struck military targets at Kurg Island, Iran's main oil export terminal, further crippling Tehran's ability to fund the war. Kurg Island is Iran's main oil export terminal, and the IAEA has confirmed that the premises of the Bushehr nuclear power plant were struck by Israeli-US forces, raising massive regional radiation concerns. Israel has vowed to intensify damage as they approach a strategic crossroads. The destruction of bridges and fuel depots across the mainland is seen as a prelude to potential ground incursion. We are now reading the comments. Mike says, love all of you if you don't hurt people. Thank you. Talking about the oil markets and double chokehold of oil, Hormuz remains closed to most of the world, though Iran is allowing selective selective passage to friendly nations like Malaysia to reward allies. Bab al Mandab. By the way, just to share you on a lighter note, that when President Trump said that Iran should open the Strait of Hormuz, or else Iran will be bombed heavily, to which Iranian embassy in Zimbabwe replied that Iran has forgot the keys of forgot the keys of Hormuz. That was a reply of Iranian embassy in Zimbabwe. They mocked President Trump when President Trump threatened to open the Strait of Hormuz, or else the US will be bombing Iran heavily. And the reply to this by Iranian's embassy in Zimbabwe was that they mocked the President Trump and said that Iran has lost the keys to Hormuz, the keys which open the Strait of Hormuz. They have lost those keys. This was their reply. The Bab al Mandab Strait is another strait which basically carries false TV. They literally said this: we lost the keys. Is this what do you think, that no NATO nations have backed Trump in this? Usually when USA goes to war, UK and France join in, but they said no. This is a very, very good question, and this is because on the face of it, every NATO country, major NATO country, has its reasons. Spain has its reasons. They consider that this war of USA on Iran is unjustified. France and Italy says that they won't go on to aggressive mode against Iran, and they won't be providing their bases and airspaces. Also, Australia said that they won't be sending forces to open the Strait of Hormuz. UK also denied sending forces to open the Strait of Hormuz along with their carrier strike group and Royal Air Force. This is the face that the reasons which these countries are giving. But the actual point is that this is kind of every country wants himself. Every country is basically this is politics, and every country wants to get more power and to get more financial stability and political power as well. So nobody is happy with the ruling state of the world, which is currently the USA. So not only Russia and China, but these other countries also want that they would become superpower, and that would only happen when US loses its power. Then there would be vacuum and we'll see another superpower. So this is the reason that these countries see a chance in that, and they want USA to fail badly over here, and they also don't want to make Iran their enemy, and they want the USA to fail so that they get a chance to become the superpower of the world. This is basic politics here now in play. Duper says Iran should surrender while they are still alive. Malaysia will stay with their own brother. This is the comment of Apai. US and Israel committing war of aggression. All I'm saying is give a peace a chance. Yes, peace should be given a chance. Let's grow food for our neighbors. And the solution. Prioritizing diplomacy. War is not the solution to any problem. Dialogue is the only way the world needs peace. Comment from Tenma. And let's read some more comments. Bunch of Iran people want free people of Iran from evil regime. This is from Merita Suami 5151. Now let's provide you some more news and analysis. I was actually talking about the Strait of Bab el Mandeb. I was talking about previously the state of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz is basically closed for 40th day, and it's been 40 days that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Uh, and the US, when threatened that Iran should open the Strait of Hormuz or else they will be bombed heavily, then the reply to by Iran was that we lost the keys to open the Strait of Hormuz. They literally mocked US, and the deadline is basically 3 hours, and then we'll see what happens. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. The Strait of Bab el Mandeb is another strait. 12% of the trade of the global trade happens. Where are you right now? Here, finally, in 1971, when we were going to college in a miniskirt. Okay, why do I don't replying to that comment that why do people consider freedom is wearing skirts? Like if it's you consider freedom is only attached to wearing what you want to wear, and in your case you say that it's wearing skirts, you have a very limited definition of freedom. Then it's not the freedom that the people would be allowed to wear whatever they want. The other side can say that these are rules. There are laws. There are revealed laws. There are divine laws. There are man-made laws. Who would follow them then? You can then call, I don't want to follow divine laws. It's my freedom. I don't want to follow the constitution of the countries. I don't want to follow the laws of the country. This is my freedom. Freedom is basically not something attached to only dresses and attached only to whatever a person wants to do, he can do. There should be a check on the freedom as well. There's nothing like the freedom, 100% freedom of to do anything what you want to do. There are checks and balances on that as well, in the form of the divine law, in the form of the law of the countries as well, and it's not only attached to dresses and miniskirts. Let's read some more comments. Sometimes to do good in the world, you have to do bad things. Like, wow, that's what God teaches. To get rid of the world evil, get the world of evil and false reasons. God words is final. No. Small percentage care about skirts. Freedom is living. And Elon, take me with you. I'd rather be on a planet with no oxygen or water and no people printing money, imprisoning their own kind. But you are basically denying that you about your own survival. Without oxygen and water, how would you survive? Nope. Let's read some more comments. Power to Iran, happiness will always defeat the devil. Let's see how many people have commented. 158 comments we have. The question was, will ceasefire occur between US and Iran? 28% of the people say no. Oh, sorry. 28% of the people say yes, ceasefire will occur, and 72% of the people say no, ceasefire. Looks like the 72% is right, and we won't be seeing ceasefire now because the deadline is near and only 3 hours are left in the deadline, which President Trump threatened that he would be bombing and the major power plants and grid stations and the bridges of Iran. Let's see what happens now after 3 hours. I was talking about Bab el Mandeb. The Houthis continue to harass shipping, making the Red Sea nearly impassable for Western linked vessels. Let's read another comment, but it's very regretful. Every Muslim country attacked anywhere in the world. Iran have a strong freedom is in Islam. The oppressed Persians will be free again because of Islam. No, no, do this could literally be our last day on earth. What should we do? But it's very regretful every Muslim country attacked anywhere in the world. Iran have all strong. Yes, I agree with that. And when you see that there are Islamic countries which are being attacked, to begin with Syria and Iraq, Afghanistan, now Iran, Libya, Sudan, many of these countries. Dude, this could literally be our last day on earth. What should we do? This was another comment. We should be on the righteous path. This is what we should do. Free from. The oil outlook is basically Brent crude is currently extremely volatile. A total Iranian infrastructure collapse, which could push prices towards $150 or maybe $200 per barrel. That's we'll see if strikes take place and there is no ceasefire. Then obviously this oil would hit $150, and we are 3 hours away from deadline ending. These are the visuals when US helicopters were fired at by Iran. The war is no longer about deterrence. It's about regime survival versus state's destruction. And the pilot rescue factor is important over here. And the successful rescue of the US aviators F-15 crew has removed the last hostage restraint on President Trump. The firing of top US generals by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth suggests that the administration has purged any internal resistance to a total war or ground invasion scenario. Let's read a comment. America, Temu Hitler goes brr. Imagine what he has to do to hide his Epstein ego war. Many people believe that US is at war because of Donald Trump's Epstein files. This is believed now. I think Trump will extend deadline by a few more days. Floatin Sun says that. I do have kind of a gut feeling that the deadline might be extended by a few more days. Already the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, has publicly appealed the US to extend the deadline by at least 2 weeks. And I guess Donald Trump would at least extend it by 1 week. This is my gut feeling. And if that deadline gets extended by a week, then this is my analysis. Then you should see and believe. Then these arguments get weight that the rescue of F-15 downed weapons system officer was not a successful rescue, but an exchange, a diplomatic exchange in which probably Iran handed over. Iran took the weapons system officer of F-15 as hostage, and they returned the US, and with certain conditions that US wouldn't be bombing these power plants and or the grid stations and bridges, or might be US is not going on that level to hit Iran again. I do believe if deadline gets extended again tonight, then you should start thinking about that this argument has weight, that actually that was not a successful rescue, but that was the favor of Iran to return the US pilot, and Iran got concessions then from US. This would be like this if now, when only 3 hours are left and the deadline gets extended again. But if no deadline gets extended, then do believe that it was a successful rescue of F-15E, and now US is bombing the power plants and bridges of Iran. That you would know within 3 hours, when the deadline is near to end. Once the deadline ends, let's read some comment and greetings from Paraguay. Thank you. Greetings from Paraguay. Fabio Gomez, thank you. You are joining. Arabs and blacks are about to learn Indian and Bangladeshis as well. Trump will give opportunity for diplomacy, then final attack. Peace and safety before sudden destruction. Said hi. Anyone who survives the next 5 years will receive a mark. Boom boom tonight. Said hi. I'm reading your comments, and let's analyze the situation and provide you with some more news and insights. Please do subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and do share your thoughts in the comments as well. Now let's talk about what was Iran's stance to US threats. The situation has reached a historic boiling point. The rhetoric between Tehran and Washington has shifted from military posturing to threats of national extinction. And Iran has officially rejected the US-backed 45-day ceasefire proposal mediated by Egypt, Turkey, and Pakistan. Tehran's diplomatic mission in Cairo stated that they no longer trust Donald Trump's administration. They view a temporary ceasefire as a trap that allows the US and Israel to regroup while Iran remains under blockade. Through Pakistan, Iran delivered a response demanding a permanent end to war, reconstruction commitments, and binding international guarantees that they will not be attacked again. The IRGC and Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei have vowed to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed as their primary lever of pressure. They have even urged Iranian youths to form human chains around power plants to protect them from the threatened US strikes. Let's read some comments. Iran, aside from Russia, is saying that Ukraine used a large UK drone to hit a bridge in Crimea, and now Russia is saying they might hit UK directly back. Okay, this is a big news if Russia is saying that they might hit UK directly back. Russia will never dare attack Britain. This was a comment from Miriam. It's about to go down. Your weak country is 90% gone. What's the plan? I'm not Iranian, and I don't think so. The country is 90% gone. Even if you believe that 90% is gone, and with that 10% they are still holding the Strait of Hormuz for 40 days. then you should appreciate them then with that 10% only. The drone is called T-150, made by BAE heavy lifting drone. Quadcopter can carry up to a ton weight. No more power in Iran. What would you do if you knew it was your last day of Disneyland or your knee spring? Yes, I would ask for forgiveness from my creator Allah, and I would be and I would be asking his help and his that he gets pleased with me. Now Donald Trump is committing two separate war crimes by calling out this attack. This was a Snork YouTube comment. The US President Trump and Secretary Pete Hegseth have adopted the most aggressive posture in American history towards Iran ever. And Trump warned that if the Strait isn't opened by the deadline, a whole civilization will die tonight. He specifically authorized the destruction of every major bridge and all 90 power plants in Iran. In a controversial statement, Donald Trump claimed that intercepted communications show Iranian citizens are asking for the bombing to continue as they can be free from the regime. The US moved away from targeting just military sites but targeting the power grid. They are attempting to trigger a total state collapse in one night. Also, President Shahbaz Sharif's appeal. Pakistan's PM made a last second plea publicly to Donald Trump for a 2-week extension in the ultimatum. The White House says they are aware of it, but Trump tones remains, "We are bombing Iran within 3 hours when the ultimatum ends." This is the tone of Donald Trump. US forces have already destroyed the B-1 bridge in Karaj. This was a test strike to show IRGC they can hit anything anywhere. IRGC warned that if the US hits the power grid, the response will be beyond the region, implying potential strikes on US bases in Europe or deeper into the Gulf. The successful rescue of the F-15 weapons system officer has removed the only brake on Trump's aggression. He no longer fears American pilots being held as human shields, but that we will know within a matter of time. If deadline gets extended, then do believe that this was the diplomatic exchange and not the rescue, not the successful rescue. The firing of top US generals who resisted civilian infrastructure strikes shows that Trump administration is prepared to ignore traditional rules of engagement. Let's read some comments. USA this before they drop more munitions on North Vietnam than WW2 and still last, and Iran in a lot bigger than Vietnam, and those are fighting words. Said hi, don't blame a certain culture or region to trying to dominate. You and I are the same. The global Iran is betting that the $150 oil will break the West's resolve. The US is betting that the darkness and no water will break the Iranian regime's resolves. So Iran is betting that the $150 plus oil price will break the West's resolve. The US is betting that darkness and no water will break the Iranian regime's resolve. The Pakistani channel of mediation as mediators, and Pakistan's PM says that the Pakistani channel of mediation, basically Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif has publicly appealed to Donald Trump to extend this deadline for at least 2 weeks because the negotiations are going on and a solution will be reached. This was the statement by Prime Minister of Pakistan. Now only 3 hours are left and the clock is ticking, and we'll see if the deadline gets extended or US starts bombing Iran heavily, as Trump said. We have received almost 300 votes now. Will ceasefire occur between US-Iran? 29% of the people say yes and 71% of the people say no. Please do subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and share your thoughts in the comments. It is the end of the world and the White House bunker isn't complete yet, and many history prove that huge air campaigns can make the population more resilient. A great comment from Fall Steve that continuously bombing and continuous airspace air campaigns and continuously banned from trading worldwide, and continuous sanctions basically, and continuously air campaigns can make the population more resilient. This is an excellent observation from Fall Steve 92899. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment. Otherwise, we are leaving this live stream here now, and we will join again. We will join you again once we have more news. Before leaving, we will request you to please do subscribe the channel and like the video as well, and share your thoughts in the comments. Do take part in the poll. Do subscribe the channel. This is it from now, and we'll be joining you again after some time once we have more news. 2 more comments. If this happened, the whole world will know that Donald Trump is the biggest criminal on planet Earth. About talking about regime change, sending love for each and every one of you. Divine sounds. Take care of yourselves. We are about to end this live stream. We'll join you once we have more news. Do subscribe the channel, do follow us, and give like to the channel.